see you here. And I gave you co-hoster. I made you the co-hoster. So you're welcome to say hi and put on your and I gave you screen. There we go. Co-hoster. Where am I? I made you the co-hoster. So that's YouTube. If you heard that. So all right, and we'll put that in. There we go. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And we're here talking about the miracle principles from the children's edition of A Course in Miracles. I think, did we read this one last week or did we just get up to it? You're muted, Ozzy.
Sorry, I'm just on one screen, so I'm a little challenged. Can you see the screen okay? Like, is it
Yeah, it's
okay?
fine.
Okay. Yeah, I think last week, or did we not talk about the basement, or did we go past the next one too?
uh
Cloud, kick it away,
yeah, I think we were on number 30. I think
30. Okay.
yeah. So yeah.
And we're gonna keep going, or do you want to do the lesson?
Well, let's ask the group if if they do you want guys want to keep doing the miracle principles or would you like to look at the lesson of the day? Let's see, everybody's let me put on the I'm not looking at the participants.
Everybody's got an opinion about it, I see. No,
Okay, whatever.
whatever.
Okay. So this is that's okay. Then let's just continue as we have been. Um, and just for everyone's understanding that these miracle principles are based on the Sparkly edition, I believe, of A Course in Miracles, which is um, kind of it's the first original um, editing that they did of the course, uh, and I think they printed, I forget how many copies they printed, but not very many, I think. And one of them they gave to Hugh Lynn Casey, who's the son of Edgar Casey, and he had it in his library, and they were able to get a hold of it and make photocopies of it, and then they turned the photocopies into the Sparkly edition. So if you ever have or see anybody with a Sparkly edition, or if you have or study the Sparkly edition, then you're probably well familiar with this. But they are different a little than the ones in the Foundation for Inner Peace edition. So if you go looking in the FIP and go, where's this? Um, don't, because it's easier. It's easier just to get it from what we're reading right now, I think. My own thoughts about that. So since I'm talking, I guess I must be in control.
I love that, Lynn, and I want to say that if you do read other versions, I have different copies, and to me, they're saying the same thing. It's really just about certain words and certain topics that and I just embrace and welcome it all. So it's all good to me, any version.
Yeah, for me, it just gets to the point where it's all the same. So, let us get to the sameness of it and forget about our differences. So, so let's read Miracle Principle number 30. Would anybody like to read? Calling all readers. There, the crickets have taken over the building. Okay, I'll read it. I will read it. Number 30, magical miracles that make God smile. Did you know that miracles are like special magic tricks that make God really happy? Yep, it's true. These magical moments happen when people do amazing things that show how much they love all the wonderful things God has made. You see, miracles happen when people remember that everything God created is just perfect the way it is. They also help make people feel better when they're sick by reminding them that they're more than just their bodies. They're like superheroes with super souls. Miracles even help put everything in the right order, like fixing a puzzle, so that everyone's spirit can talk to God directly. So next time you see something truly incredible happen, just remember it's like a little high five from God saying, "Great job, my special friend." Oh my goodness. So can you go back? Okay, okay, thank you. So this is really very cool because, he's really talking about the inner relationship that we have with God and that um, it's not like we're making God happy, although, it says make God happy, but God is already happy, obviously. It wouldn't be a very good God if God was not happy. But we don't recognize it. We don't know it. We don't experience God's happiness. So it doesn't actually make God happy. It makes us accessible or open to experience God's happiness. Of course, you can't explain that to a little child. So it's just as good to say it makes God happy. So uh, and what he's talking about, it's these amazing things that show how much they love all the wonderful things God has made. Miracles happen when people remember that everything God created is just perfect the way it is. And isn't that what we all were just talking about just a bit ago? That the only thing that is possibly potentially a problem here is my own perception of what it is that I'm seeing. So when miracles, as it says down here a little lower, even help put everything in the right order, like fixing a puzzle so that everyone's spirit can talk to God directly. So it re it rewires what we have made dysfunctional. It's like a kind of almost rewires our brain or our thinking or our mind or whatever, so that instead of it's like remember when they made the Hubble telescope, and the Hubble telescope, my husband actually worked on that project for Ball Aerospace. He was not responsible for the effect, but but he did work there. And the Hubble telescope, when they made it and they set it up, something was a little odd, and it got blurry. And so they were not getting clear pictures from it, right? They were getting pictures that were just a little off, like if your glasses are not right and everything's a little blurry. So eventually they had to make another lens, like a pair of glasses for it, and send it up and focus it, refocus it. Well, that's what miracles do. They take our blurry vision and refocus it to reality, to what's really true. So, and then we can see what's really there rather than our blurred picture of what we think is, if that makes any sense. So, and so when we can see things more clearly, then, we're not going to be afraid of it. We're going to be able to just see that it's perfect. When you see it clearly, you will see that it's perfect. When you see it through the ego, you're just going to see a blur. But when you see it with the Holy Spirit, you'll see that it's all perfect. So, any thoughts anybody else have?
Yeah, I just love this. I love that reminding myself because I'm beginning to see now that everything is like perfectly the way it should be. Even if, you know, the other day when I yelled at my dog, I yelled at the dog because I was doing something and I just burst out and he comes in, you know, when you're sweeping and stuff and your dog comes and goes through it and I'm like, there's nothing here for you. And I just yelled at him, get out of here. And then after I finished, of course, he's still sulking. And in the room, I'm thinking I have a story about it. And I go in there and it's like he's saying to me, there's nothing happened. Nothing happened. He doesn't remember. And I just laughed. And then he came over a bit later and I had the thought, oh my gosh, I just yelled at God. My little dog. I yelled at God and I started laughing and he's wagging his tail. And it was like, you know what? Give yourself a break and just remember the truth. Every time, go back to the truth, go back to the truth. And it's just so much easier to do now. So thank you for this. I love that God is always just he's just happy always. Thank you.
I love that too. That's a beautiful, perfect. And your dog's name is God, correct? So,
No, his name's Milo.
oh, okay.
But I was saying, like everything I see is God, right? And I had the flash of the thought that was like, you just yelled at God.
That
And
is
then
so
the
cool.
realization of, oh my gosh, that guilt that I think I'm separate from God came in like this whole, and I'm like, wow, that's the feeling. That is that feeling all the time, that angst. It's that fear that now I've done something wrong and I'm going to get punished. You know, like even though I'm the one who did the punishing and yelling at the object. So it was just really I just see lessons everywhere now and like miracles everywhere because it's a shift in perspective. They are everywhere. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Oh,
Beautiful. Thank you, Audrey.
yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Iris,
Iris,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. And I had that thought a couple of weeks back about everything that is happening is always like perfect. And even if like it doesn't look like it from the human way of thinking. But that's the human way of thinking. Like the human way of thinking doesn't understand anything. And like with the human way of thinking, I would think like, oh, that shouldn't happen that way. That is really awful. Oh, poor this and poor that. And oh no, like I did something wrong. Like it's just a like story, like not a story, but it's just the same kind of response like that I see in myself with like literally everything. And like but when like Lynn shared about that, like that everything is always fine in God's world. Like everything is always happening the way it should. Why? Because it's happening that way. And like, so there is no like actual, like, there is nothing that has gone wrong. Like Dove's paragraph, like, what could you not accept if you but knew that all things, events, circumstances are gently planned for one's good? And like and so it's always like the way like the human thinks, and it's like something that each human being has learned, to think like that. It's not natural. It's a learned way of thinking. It's not the natural way of being, like God's way of being, like everything is okay. And the same thing with like the response, like, oh, this project didn't go that well, now it's all my fault, I'm guilty, I'm gonna get in trouble, this is me, like with my project at work. And it's like all like a mental picture, like my thoughts are images I have made. And then like my boss says to me like, oh, it's fine, everything's okay, it's really fine, the world hasn't come to an end, but it's the human way of thinking of Iris. Oh no, it's all my fault, I'm gonna get punished. And that paragraph, like, I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. um Let me read that just for my own self, and then I'll hand back the mic to Lynn. And I love that paragraph. Let me just come back to this. Cindy reminded me of that paragraph that I really love. And it says, I must have decided wrongly because I am not at peace. I made the decision myself, but I can also decide otherwise. I want to decide otherwise because I want to be at peace. I want to be at peace. I can seek peace instead of this. I do not feel guilty because the Holy Spirit will undo all the consequences of my wrong decision if I will let him. If I will let him. I choose to let him by allowing him to decide for God for me. So that's like, thy will be done. Thy will be done. Our will is one. There's no Iris's will. There's no separate will. There's just one will. And our will is done. Amen. And I'll hand back to Lee.
Wow, thank you so much, Iris. That just brings so much depth to all of this that we're uh, thinking about right now. That this is what we're here for. Wow, I'm just so grateful. Thank you, Iris. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share um, about this miracle principle or anything else? So let's move on then to 31. And I don't know, Ozzy, maybe I don't know if you can make it a little bit smaller. Probably not. It might all fit on the same page, but um, anyway, number 31. Who would like to read Miracle Principle number 31? Miracles, the Amazing Gratitude Show.
I'll read it, Lynn, if
Oh,
you'd like.
great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So
Wait,
can you put it on the screen, number 31?
Yeah, it's on. It
There.
should be on there.
Okay. Okay. Number 31. Miracles, the Amazing Gratitude Show. Miracles are like incredible thank you notes to God. You know why? Because they remind us how special we are as God's children. Yep, we're super holy, just like superheroes. Sometimes our holiness might seem a bit hidden, like a treasure in a dark cave. But guess what? Miracles are like shining flashlights that find that treasure and bring it into the sunshine where it belongs. You see, sometimes we get a little confused and think we're so amazing, but that's just a trick our minds play on us. Miracles are like magic tricks that say, hey, you're awesome just the way you are. They help us see the truth and get rid of those tricky thoughts that make us scared. So the next time something amazing happens, remember it's like a big hug from God saying, "You're awesome and I love you."
I
So
found it interesting, Michaela, when you read it. You said sometimes we get a little confused and think we're so amazing. And it says we're not so amazing. But I love that you made that uh, that reading, because it's true either way, I feel. We think we're not so amazing, but at the flip side, we think we're so amazing that we take charge. So it goes either way. So that was a beautiful misspeak of what it is, because I see it as either way. Thank you.
thank you, Audrey. Yeah, I noticed that too, and I thought, isn't that it's just so interesting how we will see or mishear something, and like you said, it turns it around, and you can see it in a different way. That's why you're looking at it from all these different focuses actually brings about a clearer knowing of what it is. So I love it. But yeah, when we are practicing miracles, and what is it really that we're doing? What is a miracle? Um, the miracle is seeing something that we think that, happened that went wrong, actually didn't go wrong at all. The miracle is seeing that everything is beautiful and perfect, as it is, and that there is nothing to fear or reject or turn away from or be afraid of. It doesn't, nothing unreal exists, and nothing real can be threatened. So, in that case, then seeing that and knowing that is what actually um, lights us up, uh, and reminds us of the truth of what we are. And when you have a miraculous experience, a holy encounter, you suddenly see things in a different light. You suddenly understand um, a truth about something that you thought was absolutely untrue or unreal. When you begin to actually see beyond what the mind and the ego tells you about what's happening, and the light comes on, then you cannot help but be grateful, because when you see it for what it is, it's like you're in a cave, you're in a dark, dark cave, and in this dark cave, you're blind, you can't see anything. But then you reach in your pocket and you find a flashlight or a lantern, and you turn it on, and you look around you, and everywhere you see are sparkling crystals, amethysts or rubies, or something beautiful right there. And everywhere around you is something joyful that you didn't see because you were in the dark. And that's what the miracle does. It lights up the cave, and you can actually see what's really there. And it it reminds you of the truth of what you are. Ricky, love to see you. Thank you for being here. Please speak up.
Hi, I really enjoy the part about the hug. I do, because it's one thing to have happy things happen and everything's cool, but to really see it as that's God, giving me that extra atta girl, that extra hug. And today's my birthday, so I feel like God's given me an extra hug. Thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Let me give you a hug too. I'm giving you a virtual hug, and me too, because you know what? When you give a virtual hug, you have to hug yourself. So happy birthday, hon. So grateful that you're here with us for this. And
Thank you. I joined the 71 club.
oh,
Oh, wow. Happy 71st appearance day, Ricky.
That's amazing. Me too this year. I am about a month. My birthday was on February the 9th. So I'm about what, 6 weeks older than you?
Yeah, I was laughing when you shared the other last time I heard, because you were saying you're 71, you have grandchildren and you have a great grandchild. I'm 71, I have grandchildren and have a great grandchild. So I'm going, oh, I'm on schedule then.
I love it. I love it. And boy, these children that are coming into the world, I don't know about you, but I'm just overwhelmed with the brightness of the little ones that are being born right now. I have uh, how many do I have now? Six grandchildren, five grandchildren and a great grandchild. And I'm telling you what, every single one of them is uh brighter than the stars. I love it. It's so beautiful. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share about this number 31 miracle principle? Okay, well, let's go on to number 32. And don't mind my cat out there. Meow, 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 and he just wants to eat. And you know what? He's already eaten much. Okay, number 32. Who would like to read? There, that's
I
good.
will read.
Thank you.
Okay. 32. Christ's amazing superpower, making miracles. Did you know that Christ has this incredible superpower? It's called making miracles, and they're like superhero missions. I almost said missiles. Superhero missiles, because they go seeking. These miracles are like special messages to God, asking Him to help us be our best, most holy selves. When miracles happen, they make everything around us extra special and holy too. Imagine if you could fly above all the rules like a superhero and be in a world where everything is just perfect. That's what miracles do. You see, our hearts are always connected to God, but sometimes our minds get a little confused. Miracles help fix our minds and make them work with our hearts, just like a superhero team up. It's like getting our thinking cap on right and fixing any mistakes we might make. Beautiful. So yeah, we can just be like Superman or Supergirl or super person, and we can just you know, whoop, no, but we can just bark. Okay, I think that's okay, and we can, I just see this when I feel that sort of itchiness coming out. I can be like, oh, breathe and just have the feeling there and let it be there. I don't need to get rid of it or anything, but I do want to choose not to speak from that tone and that place, because it's not who I really am. So I can do that, and then that, imagine that's like me going into a telephone booth and ripping my outer out and revealing my super cape because that's who I am and I can make that choice. I love this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ozzy. And yeah, for me, honestly, when I am in this feeling of being this, I walk through the world in a different way. I walk through the world in a way that is so sure and confident and blessing everything around me, blessing everyone around me. just being the light. This is what we do. We become the beacon, and people are naturally drawn to us, and people, will listen to us, if we, ask something or say something. I've had it happen where it's like, I feel like I'm the Pied Piper or something, that, folks will come up to me, strangers, you know, knowing that I will listen and love and not run away or be afraid, because I know that everyone here is for me. Everyone here, everything here is for me. And so I'm right in the right place at the right time, every time, all the time. And I feel, when I have that feeling, I feel like I'm just standing very tall and straight and being, like I said, a beam or a beacon, of just love moving about. And, uh, you know, I know that it calms the waters for everyone around me. It calms the waters wherever I go, that there is a center of peace that is right there in the midst of them. And they may not know what it is, they may not know where it came from, they may never look at me or think about me, but I'm just there beaming love. And it can't help but shift everything around me, so that everything around me is seen in that bright light of reality. And then the world is a beautiful place, no matter what it is, because I'm here. This is it. And I'm grateful for that. It is like a superpower. I always say that. This is like a superpower. And I don't know if you ever feel this way. And the fact is, you can feel this way. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, you are that. I am that. And so this is what, at miracle mindedness, open to mind for for the Christ to come through and get out of the way, get out of my judgments, get out of my fears, get out of my assumptions, get out of my stories, get out of all the thoughts I thought ever were about anything that I ever came in contact with or saw, everything I ever saw before or heard before. Get out of it and look at everything as if it were new, because it is. And everyone as if they were the Christ, because they are. And everywhere I look, that is what I see. And it is like those Ansel Adams photographs, that just, you just look and you see the light. You just see the light. Thank you for letting me share. Does anybody else have any thoughts about this?
That was beautiful, and thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I'm just grateful to be here. So thank you to you and everybody who's joining us today. And um, just I just am really, really, really seeing the truth of this, and that it is reflected in my thinking. When my thinking changes, um, I know there's no effect in the world, but yet the world does change too. So it's just absolutely a divine, delicious, delightful journey. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Please feel free to put your hand up. All right. Let's see, is there anything else in here? Yeah, no, I think we got it. So let's move on to number 33. Miracles celebrating our awesomeness. Who would like to read number 33?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Ravi.
Miracles, celebrating our awesomeness. Miracles are like big, happy celebrations just for you because you are super lovable. Bingo. They're like magic spells that make all the make-believe things in your head disappear and let your true light shine bright. Sometimes we get stuck in our own tricky thoughts and feel like we're in a scary dream. But miracles are like superhero rescues that set us free. They help us break out of the pretend prison. We put the pretend prison we put ourselves in and make our minds feel super smart and sane again. You see, sometimes we forget how amazing we are. But miracles remind us that deep inside, we have a super duper spirit that's always free and full of love. Amen. Woo.
Thank you, Rafi.
I'm curious, Rafi, what you think of this, for because you read to children like several times a week. So how are you feeling about these principles?
From time to time, I bring in a metaphysical uh, precept that I share with them, but put it on a level that kindergarten kids and first graders can understand. For instance, last Thursday, I read a book to them about what makes you happy. And then after it was over, I said, okay, what makes you happy? And kid raised their hand and said, well, playing with my dog or being with my family or whatever they said. And I said, no, that's not what makes you happy. What makes you happy is you are already happiness. You are happy is inside you. And what that does is make you realize that happiness, that gets you in touch with it so it can come out, so you can experience it, so you can feel happy. And when you make somebody else happy, what you're doing is getting them in touch with the happiness that they are, and it comes out and they so they can feel happy. Well, I'll be darned, some of them actually got it. And some of them looked at me like they had no idea, and that's okay too. But when they get it, and from time to time I share those little things with them, and and the ones that get it, I feel like they're going to carry it with them no matter what. Whatever I've noticed that whatever experiences children have that are filled with exuberance, joy, happiness, fun. For instance, they had this big dance recital at the school on Friday, where all the different classes had been given different choreography to do, and the kids were having a blast. Well, they're going to take that cultural expansion with them the rest of their lives. And so every positive thing like that does go in and it sticks. And that stuff piles up on top of each other till eventually more of the truth is more than what ever ego thoughts are. And we're all here to make a contribution, and somehow, and I don't have a plan to do that stuff like that, but since we all serve just by being present, I get to make a contribution like that, and I'm just very grateful that I can. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. And also, too, what would you like? Do you think this is geared to a younger audience, like that age, or maybe
I'm
a bit older?
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. Could you speak up a little?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'm also wondering what you think of the language in the miracle principles in the children's edition. Do you think it does speak to that age, your kindergartners, or do you think it's a bit older? Or what's your feeling of this text?
Well, there's two things that come up right away. If you make anything interesting or fun to a child, they can learn it just like that. And I realized that a lot of things that I have said to second and third graders, making it fun or making it interesting or engaging them, um, even kindergarten kids get it. The other aspect of it, I think the language here is perfect for that, by the way, because it puts it in a realm that of which they're familiar with their own storybooks and things that they watch on TV, etc., and the imaginary games that they play with each other, and even, let's face it, even little girls playing with dolls get into a situation where they're so in the now, and that stuff becomes, for the moment they're doing it, is so real, that there's nothing else going on. And I'm looking at the language here and I'm thinking to myself, this is pretty much perfectly worded. So, yes.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate your input. Due to your experiences in the world, I was very curious what you thought, and I'm delighted to hear that. Thank you, Rafi.
Yeah, thank you both. That, yeah, really, really, yeah, that's amazing. Because yeah, we were all children. I know it's been a long time ago, but I do remember, and the things that have impacted me and gave me. I mean, I swear to you, you throw a Catholic catechism at a kid who's in kindergarten, and they do, and we hear all kinds of things about, what God is and all, why we're here and what's going on and, all the saints and, the devil and all that stuff. I mean, they teach little children all kinds of stuff and they take it to heart because that's what they've been fed. So I do not object to feeding children something that actually confirms the truth and reminds them or teaches them that what they are is really holy and that what we are is of God because that to me is I mean they're going to believe what you tell them to a certain extent, but they're going to come to a point where their own common sense is going to say something must be different. So why not give them something that is really helpful to begin with, rather than fill their heads with garbage? Ricky, please go ahead.
Thank you. And thank you, Lynn. You helped reminded me of something I gotta let go of. It's so cool. Being raised Catholic, and I remember in catechism we learned the milk bottle principle, and that's the one that everyone has a white milk bottle, but every time you sin, there's a little bit of black that comes in it. And I learned that, and I'm gonna let that one go. Thank you.
Oh my Lord, the stories that they used to tell us. How I feel so bad, thinking I believed it, but because that seemed right to me, but it never seemed right. Did it ever seem right to you when they told me that if you make a mortal sin and you die without going through confession and get or having the last rites or whatever, that'll kind of wash away all that stuff. But if you die with all that stuff on you, then you're going to go to a place where you're going to be burned in fire and tortured forever and ever and forever. This is what they told us. There's a mountain that's 1 million miles high or something, and once every million years a bird flies by and it has a scarf on its beak and it brushes away a grain of sand and that grain of sand tumbles down. And by the time that mountain is worn down, there's going to be another mountain built up from the one it just dropped. And that's eternity. And you're going to be burning in hellfire and tortured for that. I mean, when you tell little children things like that, um, either they're terrified and you know, they'll do whatever you tell them, or they'll realize, like I did eventually, well, if this God knows me and loves me, and he made me to know him and love him, why would he do a thing like that to me? Oh, I'm a person, I would never do that to anybody, and I'm not as good as God is. So how did that work? I got in a lot of trouble for that too. Uh, thank you, Ricky. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, having also been raised a Catholic, the one thing that used to get me is purgatory, and that it was this life, there was purgatory, and there was hell. Hell was forever, but purgatory, if you were bad, bad, and how could you be bad if you were a child of God? I mean, it's the contradictions are just astounding. Um, but if you were purgatory, you would go to purgatory and you could be there for burning for thousands. Now you're a little kid, okay? You're 12 years old, and they're going to throw you in purgatory for thousands.
Up. Oh, sorry. That was an accident. I muted you. Unmute yourself, please.
Oh, where they're going to throw you in you're 12 years old, they're going to throw you in purgatory where you're going to burn for thousands and thousands of years. And then somebody, they didn't say who, somebody's going to come and finally say, well, that kid has had enough. He's been there for several thousand years burning and being tortured. We're going to take him out now. Who decides when that happens? And so all of these things used to come up, and I thought to myself, who came up with all of this stuff? When I was I thought that the insanity of all of this, and this is from a God that loves you. That's why George Carlin's great routine about religion really struck a note with so many, because he said, you know, there's a God. He's a white guy that lives in the sky with a beard, and he watches everything you do. And if you make one mistake, he's going to throw you in a place where you're going to burn for thousands of years. But he loves you and he needs money. Um, and, and that one, thank you, George. Put it in perspective. Love you. The messages are everywhere. All you got to do is pay attention.
Exactly. Thank you, Rafi. Does anybody else have anything to say about uh, this principle, number 33? I love that he says, sometimes we get stuck on our own tricky thoughts and feel like we're in a scary dream. But miracles are like superhero rescues that set us free. They help us break out of the pretend prison we put ourselves in and make our minds feel super smart and sane again. Sane. Do we talk to our children about sanity? What does sanity mean? It means that you're thinking with a clear mind, and your mind is clear because you're not in fear. Fear is the thing that makes us forget. And when we are able to practice and through the miracle become calm and sane, then we can remember the truth about what we are. Then we can remember the truth about what God is. And we don't have to worry then about an insane God doing insane stuff, because we know it's not possible. And I just realized I was a sane child. I heard that stuff and I was just like, what? How could that be? And I was right. It wasn't. All right. We have time to look at yeah, we do. Let's look at number 34. And who would like to read number 34? All right. Well, I will read 34 then. Let's get that up here. Okay. Oh, good. 34. Miracles, the awesome power of fixing and helping. Here we're going to be talking about helping. Isn't that what we've been talking about all this time? Being truly helpful. Okay, so miracles are like super duper fixes for our minds. They help us feel complete and strong, just like wearing an invincible shield. Imagine having a superpower that keeps all the bad stuff away and fills you up with goodness. That's what happens when we forgive and share our love with others. You see, when someone forgives us, it's like they're giving us a big warm hug, and we feel all fuzzy inside. And guess what? We can do the same for our friends and make the world a better place together. It's like being part of a superhero team with Christ, and our mission is to spread love and happiness to everyone. So here we are. We're here to be truly helpful. And once we get into our sane mind, which we were just talking about, and we're able to think from that state of sanity, then that keeps us uh, in a place of no fear. There's no fear possible in a being that's filled with love. So that's what happens when we forgive and share our love with others. We get filled up with love and goodness. And being filled with love and goodness, again, we can walk tall through the world and be the beacon of love for everyone. So yeah, that's part of being this superhero team. That's what I think. We're a superhero team here. Yay. The gatherers. Anyway, does anybody have anything, comments on this?
I love that. We're the gatherers. Yeah. And it's just beautiful to now not only do I have a cape, here's me. I'm building my own superhero here in my mind. Not only do I have a cape, but I've got a kick-ass shield. Woo! I don't have to take things personally when I have a shield, right? Because that's going to bounce shit right off of me. Sorry, I had to bring in the adult language to the child program for the contradiction's sake. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And we have a shield. And it does hold in the truth and keep us safe and safe from fear, safe from harm, safe from the possibility of loss, the possibility of anything to be afraid of. It's all right here in our superhero shield. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to share? If not, I think we're close enough to the top of the hour that I think if you wanted to play that song, Oddsy.
Yes, yes. Just let me reshare to the song. Thank you. This will be great. I haven't heard this song yet, but I do have a friend that I said to her, "Can you do this song?" Or I said, "You should do this song." And I just got an email. I had it this morning, and I haven't listened yet. So, but I trust that this is beautiful. I love this. I love Marilyn Air. She's just an amazing person. So I'm going to share my screen again. Oh, wait. Oh no, that's sorry. I'm on one screen. So here we go. Doot.
This is about my favorite song too, so.
Well, I think she usually does it a bit differently. So when I've heard other covers, it's like, oh, my brain will be because it's different tune. Like she really does her own thing. So
I
I'm
love that.
excited to see what it's gonna
Me too.
be. All
All
right,
right.
here we go. gotta stop my camera. Ooh, I'm frozen.
I gotta take a little time to think it over. I better read between when I'm older. Now this mountain I must climb feels like the world upon my shoulders. Through the clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder. In my life there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I'm gonna take a little time to look around me. I got nowhere left to hide. It looks like love has finally found me. In my life there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is.
Oh, sorry, I don't know if it was cutting out for you guys, but something's up with my bandwidth. But that was Marilyn Eyre, and she does all the music, and she sings, and she puts it all together and does different covers. And yeah, she's pretty amazing, I think. And I hope you like that. Thank
I
you.
did. That was beautiful. Thank you, Ozzy. And yeah, I'll look her up on YouTube because I would love to hear it. Yeah, it did cut out a little bit. It was
Yeah,
okay
I don't
though.
know what's wrong with my connection, but we can use any of her music, and she will even send us the copy of it. I met her through the foundation when I was there, and she was one of the volunteers, and so and then she had some health stuff, so she didn't really get into volunteering much, but we really kept our connection. And she even has Rocket Man there. She's got a lot of different covers. She used to be in a band, I forget who they were, a well-known like 80s band. She did the background vocals. Like she's done some things. And that was her. She actually showed herself. I'm proud of her. The person there praying there. I'm very impressed that she put herself out there. So I just want to give her a shout out because she's got a heart so big, and I just love her light and her gifts. She's just freely giving. So I'm glad that you let me play that, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for freely giving your gifts as well. And thank you everyone who joined us. It's so great to have you all together on Saturday, and so happy, happy Saturday, and we will see you guys later. Later, taters. Bye.